Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I was clearing my throat when I just came on, and it turned out to be. Anyway, happy Friday to you. Welcome to the Money Cure. I'm your host, Sean Robert Grant, Reverend Sean Robert Grant. Yes, Lord Jesus. Um, Excited and happy to be back. Happy to be broadcasting. Happy to be bringing value in an enormous capacity, and happy to be able to share the airways with you. Guys, if you have any questions about anything, feel free to shoot me an email at seang04@gmail.com. I'll be more than happy to help you out in any way that I can. Today we got a special episode today that's going to go deeper, going to be a little bit more spiritual. Actually, this entire podcast links itself to spirituality when it comes down to the money thing. I got some great episodes ahead because I've had a lot of growth here in my hermit phase over the last few months. That's why I've kind of been MIA. But anyway, it's been really good. Also got some resources in line for you. If you'd like to dive more into your money journey, you can go to my YouTube at Sean Grant. I think it's S Grant 28 is the ID name. You can go there and you can find a lot of different information as it relates to financial prosperity, wealth, money, all the things. Like, got so many great episodes there. This podcast, which is actually on pretty much every outlet now, definitely iTunes, definitely Google, Spotify, a number of ones that you can check out to listen to past episodes. Like I said, for me, money is a passion. It's a purpose. It's a soul urgency that I have, and that's why I'm here. That's why I love doing this and helping people out who share the same passion that I do for it. So, treat yourself to those. Oh, and last but not least, Medium. If you go to my Medium, which is just Sean Grant, you can find a lot of different articles on money there. I'm going to start doing some more here in the coming weeks. At least that's what I plan to. But treat yourself to that. Help yourself out. Share it, whatever you need to do to get you to a point where you can be as rich as you possibly desire to be. And with that being said, today's episode is healing the separation of money. And so this one is near and dear to my heart. This is near and dear to my heart. And the reason being is that when I say healing the separation of money, what I really mean, okay, let me paint a picture for you real quick, because I think we have to go through this in steps before I just start throwing darts at you. So, in the beginning, there was the Word, as it says. Well, you can say in the beginning there was God. And so when I say God, it's not this old man in the sky who's this cheap bastard who's, playing with your emotions, not giving you what you feel like you need. Throw that concept completely out the window, because that is not what I mean when I mean God. When I say God, I'm talking about the benevolent essence, spirit of love that permeates, that is everything in this universe and then some. It encompasses everything. When I mean God, that's what I mean. Okay? So, in understanding, in the beginning there was God. God is everything, right? What's interesting is a thing that helped me to really kind of understand this on a deeper level is when you begin to look at things and look at people without names, but only as an aspect of yourself, which you are God as well, right? And everything is just an extension, an expression of God. If you look at it like that, there's a sense of peace. There's a sense of connectedness. There's a sense of joy that comes over you by being able to do that, okay? Now, when we see that unfold in a way that it does, it leads us to heal something that has been prevalent for most of us throughout this lifetime. And even for a lot of us that experience some financial success, right? There can still be a breakage there, right? And here's what happens. I'm going to lay it out for you. as God, as expressions of God, which each and every human being, each and every entity, atom, molecule in this universe, wave, and particle is, we fall under the unification of the concept of God, which God is even bigger than that name. So that even tells you how massive this whole thing is, okay? And so in God, there is money, there is love, there is success, there is fulfillment, there is everything, right? Everything falls under God, right? So let's say, for instance, you've been having some issues financially. You've been having a rough time of it financially, and you're experiencing some low lacking times. I can almost guarantee you the reason you're having issues with money is because you separated yourself from money, which means you separated yourself from the concept of God, which means you separated yourself from yourself, right? So that's kind of a mind fuck. But that's exactly how it unfolds, like dominoes, right? Anything you're having an issue with, anything you're experiencing any type of issue with, you've separated yourself from it, which means you are denying it the love that it deserves, as it is being an expression of God itself. And I tell you, this, when truly understood on a subconscious level, has the power to transform any type of financial struggle, financial lack, financial poverty, whatever it is. It has the power to heal that completely. I can remember this is about 12 years ago, maybe a little bit, no, maybe more like 9, 10 years ago. And this lady, I remember on LinkedIn, she was doing like these free coaching sessions, and she was an intuitive, right? So she sensed energy. And what she would do was she would get your name, because your name represents your energy. If you ever wanted to call out your energy, just say your name 3 times. That's what I learned from her. It's pretty neat. But she would call out your name, and then she would be able to see where you were separated at in your body. And immediately she told me, she said, Sean, I can see there's a separation from money. And I'm like, well, what is that all about? And so, she had me book a session and stuff like that. And, and basically what I wound up learning and having reiterated now was that because I was separating myself from money, I was separating myself from God. And because I was separating myself from God, I was separating myself from myself. And if I separate myself from myself, what is produced? Pain, lack, struggle, right? Misfortune. All these things come from separation, right? Come from separation. The denial, my denial of money was this. My separation from money was this. It's caused me, instead of me taking responsibility for it, I said it caused me pain. When money is not causing me pain, right? I was causing my own pain. It caused me stress. It caused me to worry. No. When I was able to take full responsibility for me doing all that stuff, regardless of money, I was able to come to the conclusion that I needed to take responsibility for myself. I had to stop blaming money. I had to stop blaming everybody else, right? Because in that blame, once again, separation was created and pain was born, which means, and if you're in pain, financial pain, you're likely struggling, you're likely frustrated, you're likely pissed off. And that's where I was. But she told me, you have a separation from money. And I took it a step further in realizing, okay, what is money exactly, right? And this is literally the main reason why I've done this podcast, why I've done, 53 videos for Heart of Christ Ministry on finances and stuff like that, is because when I say what is money, It's a love current of energy that is used to do as much good for ourselves and for others as possible, right? But then I ask myself, well, what is love? Love is God. And what is God? God is me. And what does that make me and God? That makes me and God everything, right? So if it's going over your head, just kind of bear with me. But what I came to the realization of is basically this, and this is what you need to know more so than anything else. By denying anything, I was denying God. By denying God, I was denying myself. By denying money, I was denying God. By denying God, I was denying myself, right? And in denial of myself, there is pain. Every time I deny myself something, there is pain, there is struggle, there is lack, right? So if you're experiencing any type of trouble with money, you've got a separation, right? You're blaming money for something that is totally your responsibility, right? Money's just there, right? And it's up to us to understand the unification with money as it relates to our lives, right? And so what do I mean by unification? It's as simple a phrase as I am one with money and money is one with me. I and money are unified. And when I say money, it means money everywhere, all across the universe, not just the money in Fort Lauderdale or the money in Florida, the money in the South. It's money everywhere. I am, you are unified with that concept, which means what? When I am connected to it, there should never be any limits until or unless I separate myself from it. And how do I separate myself from it? By consciously or subconsciously rejecting it. Right? Consciously or subconsciously rejecting it. And how do we do this? We do it through bills. We do it through instances where we need to come up with certain amounts of money and we become restrictive, right? So we got to put the blame on something. So we put the blame on money, guess what? And then it separates. It makes it out to be that money is something that is not connected to us, that it's not something we can just tap into, that it's not something that is here to help us to live the very best life that we choose to. We begin to see it as this culprit that always brings about fear, that always brings about struggle, that always brings about lack, when in actuality it's just our emotions that are causing that, right? So how do we heal this separation? Easy. We heal the separation through love, right? When I healed my separation with money, guess what? I had to develop a love for money. And yeah, I grew up in the Bible Belt, so that makes it difficult for me to love money when for 20 years people were telling me the love of money is the root of all evil. Well, Reverend Ike used to say the lack of money is the root of all evil. And poverty and struggle is evil if you want to get into it, because there's nothing cool about being poor. There's nothing cool about not being able to pay your bills. There's nothing cool about not being able to do nice things for your family and for your friends and whatnot. So to me, that makes money a very good thing. But I know the core of money, and the core of money is God. And if I accept all of God, and this is not religious, like I said, this is not some old man in the sky with a white beard who's a cheeky bastard that throws nickels at you and makes you suffer for things. That's a myth, right? That's a myth that religion has taught that isn't true. The real God, the God in us, is a loving, benevolent essence that is willing to offer us everything we need, but it's up to us to understand the embodiment, the connection, and the consciousness of it. And how do we do that? We do that by loving and accepting everything, no matter what it is, as God. Everyone as God, right? Because when there's separation, there's definitely going to be pain, right? There's separation, there's definitely going to be pain. So to heal your money separation, basically all you need to do is start by loving money, no matter how much you have. You can be in a really dire space, but just start loving the money you have, right? And if you can't love the money you have, love what it can do for you, right? Even if it's paying off of something, paying a little bit on something, express love towards it, right? And then finally, Once you realize that you can actually love the concept of money, that's when you begin to realize money is just God. Money is just God, and God is everything. And we are God, which means we are everything, which means everything is connected. Everything is one. Everything is unified, which means you have an endless amount, an unlimited amount of every single thing in this universe. And all you have to do is heal the separation to it. Because once the separation is healed, here comes the avalanche. Riches, riches, and more riches, right? So we'll dive into this topic more a bit later on. But what I want you to do right now is just kind of observe where you may be rejecting, where you may be separating yourself from money, parentheses, God, right? And then move into a space of love and embrace that. And I promise you, it'll turn your life around. It'll change everything around. I promise you. I promise you. With that being said, guys, thank you so much for joining me today. If you feel the need to ask any questions whatsoever, feel free once again to give me a shout at SeanG04@gmail.com. Other than that, enjoy your weekend. We will talk to you soon. Thanks so much for tuning in. Take care. Bye-bye.